It's a Tuesday afternoon, 2 p.m., just a little after 2 p.m., 2 to 3. It's always Talon Talk, where we talk University of North Florida sports, athletics, student athletes, coaches, etc. Richard Miller here is filling in for Brent Martineau, who's on assignment. And we start off the show, we'll dive right in. Men's basketball. Head coach Bobby Kennen. Bobby, great to see you. Welcome back from your travels to Gonzaga.
Yeah, great to be here, Richard. Thank you.
How was it out there? Very different from Florida.
Yeah, it's definitely quite a trip, but it's a beautiful area. I think you spend a little bit of time there, you understand why Coach Few has never left.
So Gonzaga, result not what you wanted. What were some positives that you take away?
I think we had some guys. Trey Caddy continues to get better and better for us. He's kind of established himself in the front court rotation. He's really been able to score the ball for us. But I think anytime that you compete at the highest level, you learn about the character of your team, and I think we continue to grow through every opportunity so far this year.
And Trey's been one of those bright spots, youngster, the freshman, where he does have 3 straight games of 10 or more points. But what jumped out to me was the SIU Edwardsville game. To open up the second half, he scored, 9 straight points.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he's talented, he's versatile, and we've just got to continue to get him to be a little bit more consistent in effort on both ends of the floor. And once he gets that, motor gets going a little bit, he's going to be a really good player for us.
So what's the plan this week? You've got midterms, finals going on, people taking tests and everything. Are you still practicing, getting in the gym?
Yeah, we are. We took yesterday off. We traveled back. Didn't get back until about 6 o'clock. It's a full day travel back from the West Coast. So the guys had yesterday off. We're going to practice today and tomorrow. And then we'll practice. We'll take Thursday off and practice Friday in advance of our trip to Dayton this weekend.
I've got to say, jumping away from basketball itself, but coolest story with the team. I'll let you tell more of it. But on social media, Taylor Thompson, amazing story.
Yes.
Can you just tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, one of the great things about Taylor is our first year here, my first year on staff 17 years ago, he came to camp as a 4-year-old. We had a day camp for kids, and actually had a biddy ball camp for 4- and 5-year-olds. And Dr. Kane's son, our faculty athletic rep, was actually in that. So Taylor attended that as a 4- and 5-year-old. Both of his parents, his sister, they're all UNF graduates. So for him to come from that point as a 4- or 5-year-old and earn a scholarship on our team is just a remarkable story.
Is there a lot of planning involved? Are you having to keep secrets before you announce something like that?
Yes. Actually, I did not want to do it on the day that we did. I actually wanted to do it today. And I reached out to Taylor's father. I sent him a text and said, "Hey, are you guys available on Tuesday?" And it's right away. I think anytime the parent gets a text from a coach, it's, "What's the matter? It's okay. I can be there today. I can be there right now." It's kind of one of those things. So it evolved from, doing it today to kind of doing it at that point, because I wanted it to be a surprise for the family as well. I mean, this is one thing that, when you grow up, when a player grows up, they grow up dreaming of, earning a scholarship and being a Division I player, and particularly this family, even more so in particular. Like, I wanted it to be, Taylor's very close with his family. I want it to be a family celebration. So it just kind of evolved very, very quickly. I guess can't keep a very good secret.
How challenging is that for you? I know you're somewhat emotional. I feel like we'd both cry at any Pixar movie, but you kind of had to catch yourself a little bit to start.
I really did. I really did, because anytime that I got into coaching to make people's dreams, become reality. I mean, I think that's one of the things that we do, or that we strive for. So to kind of be in that moment and to see his mom and dad there, and to see his brother there, and the kind of, I knew what was coming, and they didn't quite know what was coming. I still don't think they knew what was coming. But yeah, it's just it's a very special feeling to be able to do that. And I think our whole program celebrated that.
Did that come kind of at a right time for you? Because this is a challenging start to the season. Right. 3 of your first 4 road games have been against ranked opponents.
Yeah. I think sometimes we look for wins every single day, and we find them. We find wins every day. We find them at practice. We find them wherever we go. But it's certainly, that's a big win. It's a big time win for Taylor. It's a big time win for his family, as well as it is for our program. So it did come at a great time for all of us.
Another a youngster, the freshman BJ Plummer. I think he's jumped out quite a bit. To you, how has he looked?
He's been fantastic. I'd probably say the BJ's our biggest surprise. Just the fact that he's incredibly mature. He's actually has stepped up and actually assumed a very strong leadership role early on in his career. He's very versatile. He's going to be an outstanding player for us.
Oh, very cool. Talking to Bobby Kennen, head coach of the men's basketball team, is they will be back in town. They've got a little stretch of road games, but remember, mark your calendar as December 28th. That Sunday, they will host Columbia. Is it still something? I've been traveled with the men's team in quite some time. When you're on the bus, do you still maybe pull a player or two aside, have them sit next to you and watch game clips?
Yes, I mean certainly. I think we look for those opportunities to kind of find them where they are. Just to kind of connect with them at different times and different places. Is kind of maybe grabbing a guy real quick after shoot around, grabbing a guy on the way to dinner, grabbing a guy on the way back. Whatever the case may be, because at the end of the day, the goal of a team is to be as connected as possible, and it's just kind of I think traveling is a great opportunity to find those moments that are naturally occurring and to spend time with our guys.
Have you gotten used to sitting in that quote unquote new seat for you?
I have. I mean, I find it, I find it comfortable. It's comfortable for me. It's just the biggest challenge has been, I think when you coach, when you're an assistant coach, you coach players. When you're a head coach, you still coach players, but you're responsible for the team. And I think I think that's it. I think sometimes with your relationships with guys, you have that individual relationship, but more as a head coach, you have to put that relationship in perspective as it relates to the entire team. And I think that's just the challenge of being a head coach.
As you see the schedule right there, Holiday Hoops at home at the University of North Florida women's basketball. It'll be a week from today, 1 o'clock. We'll face Coastal Georgia. Head coach Bobby Kennen. I'd say one of the bright spots right now, your team you're one of 5 in the ASUN, averaging 80 or more.
Yeah, it's amazing because we spent so much time on the defensive end of the floor, just kind of, talking about the importance of that and teaching and working and trying to get better every day. We have very talented players, and I think our offense has come, it's getting better, it's evolving. We're sharing the ball a little bit better as we move along, but that's been something that's been nice for us to see.
Well, you do lead the conference in made threes as well at 105, averaging 11.7 made per game. Were you expecting that high of a number?
I think that speaks to our recruiting, and it speaks to how this team is built. It's always kind of built that way. We want to be able to dribble, shoot, and pass at all 5 spots, and I think that's allowed us to continue to shoot the 3 ball very well.
Well, that leads me in very nicely. Your team recently signed 3 players last month in recruiting. We talked a little bit about it briefly and everything. You can dive in as much as you want, but all 3 of these athletes that you're bringing into UNF are top 50 prospects in their state, whether it's Florida or Georgia. Can you give me a rundown? Isaiah Brown, 6'10", out of Fort Lauderdale.
We actually had the pleasure to watch him play here 2 nights in town at Jackson. Right after we signed him, he's going to be absolutely tremendous for us. 6'10", high motor. He's on the floor multiple times. He's able to protect the rim. He's becoming more skilled daily just because of his work ethic. But we haven't had a player like him here in a while, maybe since Romello Banks, Chris Davenport, those kind of guys. He's got a very, very high motor, and heck, I wish we had him right now. He's certainly helped us rebounding the ball. Chris Perry's from right up the road in Hinesville, Georgia, 6'7", another very athletic, very skilled guy, can play multiple positions. Family actually, both, Isaiah was able to attend a home game, and Chris and his family were actually able to be there at our last Saturday home game as well. Military family from mom and dad, both Army veterans, right up in Hinesville, Georgia. Just great people, and Chris is going to do a ton for us. And Asa Cone is just he's an absolute prolific shooter, coach's son. Plays for his dad, Josh, at Haggerty High School, and he's another one who I feel like I've watched grow up. He's he's been around camp, been with his dad since we've been here. We've always had Aaron Bodiger, whose birthday was yesterday, by the way, another Haggerty grad, INZ. So he's actually gonna be the third Haggerty guy that we've had since we've been here.
Oh, very cool. I always keep up with Aaron on Instagram. He's always off on a boat or out west. He's skiing. He's doing something fun every day.
Everyone wants to be Aaron. I will tell you that if we could all live his life, he's certainly he's extremely bright. He's worked very hard, and he's put himself in a position to enjoy life, and he certainly is.
Well, I think your coaching staff should be extremely proud. Isaiah Brown, I watched his clips this morning. Incredible shot blocker. To me, that's the best part of his game. Chris Perry, I love the lefty. You said last week or 2 weeks ago, maybe highest upside of any of these recruits.
Yeah, he's going to be really good. I mean, just a lot. He's a lot like BJ Plummer. In a lot of ways. I mean, just kind of that. He's got a ton of versatility to him. I mean, I think they all do. And Isaiah, for that matter, I mean, he doesn't turn 18 until January. He's only been playing for 4 years, so he's got an incredibly high ceiling as well.
What was that? Just he was more football, or
no? Just new to the game. Newer to the game. So many kids grow up playing their whole lives. He's just newer. He's newer to it. So I think as he plays every day and gets a little bit more comfortable. I mean, he won a state championship last year, and he's kind of gone from being a role player to now, being the guy that they depend on. So one of the guys that they depend on. So I'm excited to see where his progress is from November until March, where hopefully they're playing in the arena here in March.
Wow, fascinating. Very cool. Yeah, that team is very, very good. Also, a really good travel team, correct?
Yes, SOH Elite out of kind of out of Miami. They're an Under Armour team out of South Florida, and they've been one of the. They were the runner-up 2 years ago on the Under Armour circuit and Final Four this year. A very, very good program.
Oh my goodness, that's exciting. And two of these three players already have scored 1,000 points in high school.
Yes. Yes. I mean, they're certainly going to be able to do that for us.
How challenging is this stretch beginning Saturday? I feel like maybe the toughest stretch of the season. You go at Dayton, Charleston Southern, and then Miami.
Yeah, I mean, all of them. I mean, Charleston Southern just beat South Carolina State by 40 last night. They're very, very good. Our mid-major opponents this year have been fantastic. I mean, talking about, Wofford's an NCAA tournament team. SIU Edwards was a tournament team that had 5 players who played double-figure minutes against us a year ago and 2 starters returning. Prairie View A&M was all grad transfers. Southern Miss was all transfers as well. They were very, very old. Now Charleston Southern, coming up. And to add to that challenge, we're actually an elementary school game for them at 11 o'clock in the morning and in a gym similar to Swisher. So I may take these headphones with me for next week. And but Dayton's first, and I've told our guys, I think Gonzaga and Dayton are 2 of the top 5, no more than 10 places to play in the entire country. I mean, there's a reason why the first 4 is at Dayton. You've been there. I mean, it's an incredible atmosphere. It's just a fantastic place to play. They love basketball. Coach Grant, is absolutely fantastic. He's got a great program, and then go to Charleston Southern, and then turn around and go to Miami as Jay Lucas is building his program down there as well. We certainly don't shy away from anything, and just looking forward to each challenge as they come.
Was the last time North Florida was at Dayton was Obi Toppin? Was it that same year?
Yes, and
sorry.
He actually wasn't supposed to start. I think they had somebody get hurt, and then I think we helped him become a lottery pick that day. But he's obviously fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. One last question before we let you head over to practice. How's the team health?
We're getting healthier. We actually have our 2 guys have been out. One has a doctor's appointment Thursday. One has a doctor's appointment Friday. I'm counting on some good news because they'll both be welcome additions as they get healthy for it.
All right. One question I'm asking all our guests today: favorite Christmas movie? Do you have one?
Come on now. You gotta Gotta have Chevy Chase.
Okay. All right. I love it. Perfect answer.
Gotta have it.
Either that or Home Alone. I'll even accept Die Hard.
You'll accept Die Hard. I'll accept Die Hard too.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bobby. Great to see you.
Have a great day.
All right, you too. Bobby Kennen, head coach of men's basketball. Remember, they'll be on a stretch of road games coming up, but then December 28th against Columbia, as we'll be joined right now. We've got one of the men's golfers for the University of North Florida will join us over here, a senior from Jacksonville, coming off an incredible victory. You can pop those headphones on right there. Adam joining us. Correct me on your last name, Vermouth?
Vermute, yeah.
Vermute,
Yeah.
okay. Well, congrats. Big win over the weekend. Are you still riding high from that victory?
It's still sinking in a little bit, yeah. Thank you very much. It's still soaking in a little bit, absolutely.
What is that like? Because it's a loaded field over there at St. John's. Was it a course you had played before?
So funny you ask that. This golf course has been around for a while, longer than I've been alive, but it was redone a good handful of years ago. So I had not played it since, and I couldn't do the practice round because I was busy the night before the tournament. And I just kind of went out there and, like, let's just go off of what I remember. I had to have been probably 16, maybe pushing 17 last played that golf.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not see that in any of the recaps. That is wild.
Yeah.
So last year was your first season with North Florida before this tournament over the weekend. Did you have a chance to maybe pick the brain of Scott Schroeder or assistant coach Michael Matisse?
I chatted with them a little bit. Talked to Scott a little bit about what the initiatives are for the events that I'm playing on Christmas break, and then Michael Matisse I talked to like a couple nights ago, and we just kind of talked about how to prepare for some of the weather and the golf course that we were playing because it was pretty brutal on Sunday. The weather was not fun.
No, well, I read that all the tee times pushed up early into the day, 8:30. Then, what was it, a 90-minute weather delay?
Yeah, so we were on the first green of the tournament, first hole. Rain started pouring down, and the whole green was underwater. Like, it got to the point where, like, the hole was, like, filled with water. So I couldn't putt, and my playing partners couldn't putt. So we sat right next to the first green under an umbrella for about an hour and a half.
What do you do? Do you read a book on your phone? Are you checking Facebook? What do you do?
We just talk about like, hey, have you seen this movie recently? Or hey, like, you think this is gonna pass? You know, obviously a lot of the spectators are on their phones watching the weather, but we were actually, so I was paired with a upcoming recruit, Easton Oliva, who was kind of preparing for his freshman year. So I kind of gave him a little bit of my wisdom or whatever that'll help him with, and just kind of told him what to prepare for when he gets here, and kind of had time to do that, I guess.
Yeah, I recognize that. A UNF commit. He was in your final three-man pairing. Ended up tying for fourth, plays right now for Ponte Vedra High School. So, final round of the tournament. I want to hear more. You get the 5-foot birdie putt to win it by one shot on the par 5 18th. I read that it was a challenging putt. What was the read? Give us the lowdown.
Yeah, so the first putt I had was ways away from the hole. It was probably like 25, 30.
Yeah, I read
somewhere around
25.
there. Yeah, so knocked that up there to about 5 feet. And there wasn't much going through my mind, to be honest. I was like, look, I mean, I've made these all week. I've made over thousands of them in my lifetime. I mean, this putt's no different. And I was fortunate enough to dead center it. And that probably felt the best. The entire 54 holes, that was probably the best putt fell in. I knew, I kind of knew where I was, but I did what I could not to pay attention to it. But I know that birdie was.
Well, because I think you had a freshman, a youngster, charging up, hit a 64 in the final round. So there was definitely some pressure. I'm wondering, too, what was it? You hit a 6-iron to get onto the green on 18.
Yeah, so I was about 220 yards out from the flag. So it would say probably about 205 to the center and pull downwind. So I had a 6-iron in my hands, and I mean, I never once thought about knocking. I need to hit it. Absolutely never. Just kind of capitalized on it and took advantage of it.
What's the biggest key playing in such tough conditions with pretty much a steady rain all day on Sunday? Is it drying your hands, drying your clubs, or kind of all of the above?
It's such a process before each shot. I brought 2 extra towels from home, and pretty much before any shot, I was wiping everything, gloves, my hands, the grip, everything. It's kind of how you have to play in those games. Pretty much have to take a little bit longer, make sure everything is correct, make sure the club's not going to go flying once you hit it, and just keep everything as dry as possible. But yeah, no, it's not fun playing in that kind of stuff because it's like, it plays slower and it's a lot more challenging just keeping your equipment dry.
Oh yeah. The few times I've done it, it's like I want to go home.
Yeah.
This isn't fun.
Yeah.
But really the best part about the round is a hot shower when you get home.
Of course. Yeah, especially, yeah, definitely. It's I feel like our home event, the Hate, normally plays just like it did on Sunday, and there's definitely nothing better than, all right, 18 holes is over, especially if you play a good round. It's like, okay, the round's over. Now we can kind of give ourselves a little bit of time to get comfortable and think about what we're going to do the next.
You're maybe one of the tallest golfers, I think, around 6'6".
Yeah.
Your mother, Cindy, played tennis, right, at West Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a point where you were leaning maybe tennis or golf?
I had played tennis for a little bit, actually. My mom got me into tennis for a couple of years and slowly figured out that was not for me. And then after that, I was actually a baseball player growing up too. I played till I was about 13 or so, and picked up a golf club at 15 and kind of was like, how good I could get it.
Well, great. Congrats again, winning the 20th St. Augustine Amateur on Sunday. Do you have a favorite Christmas movie? Anything you're going to be watching over the holidays?
I'm a big Home Alone fan.
Oh, attaboy. Yes. Oh, I can't. My son and I have watched it already 2 or 3 times. You excited for upcoming tournaments in the spring?
I am. Yeah, we have a very competitive 8 guys right now. We're a good squad, and we have a lot of potential.
Well, Adam, thank you so much. Save for that win. Good luck with finals all this week, and I appreciate your time.
I appreciate yours. Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. Bobby Kennen, thank you for his time. He's over off to practice, getting ready for this road stretch. I'm Richard Miller. Coming back, we're going to talk to both head coaches of the tennis teams, men's and women's, and we'll talk to Nick Morrow to wrap up the show in a little bit. You're watching and listening to Talon Talk on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness, and most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC. We are professional grade.
Hi, I'm Joel Donovan. My brother Kyle and I, we are co-owners and operators here at Donovan Heat and Air and Electric, and my dad started the business in 1987 to provide the greater Jacksonville area with a great customer service experience. 3 decades later, we're still doing the same thing. I love the Jacksonville area, I love the community, I love raising my family here. That's my name on the side of the building, and it's really important for our family to run this company the way it should be ran and something to be proud of.
If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. When you hear that, you think Bono's Pit Barbecue, a staple in Northeast Florida now for 75 years. A place that feels like home with friendly service, a meeting place for friends, family, or business occasions. On the menu, the corn nuggets are a favorite in our house, but there's something for everyone. Sandwiches, platters, salads, sides, desserts, and family feasts. You see Bono's all over the place in Northeast Florida. You know, there are almost 20 locations in the Jacksonville area now, so stop on by, sit down, and dine in with Bono's. You can also take it to go. There are drive-thrus in many of the locations, and they have delivery options too. Just download the Bono's app to make things easy. I signed up for the loyalty program, and you can too, to get special offers. If Jacksonville is home, few things feel more Jacksonville than Bono's Pit Barbecue. Celebrate 75 years and many more to come. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
We're CSI Companies. We partner with organizations nationwide to help employers like you find your dream team. You're looking to hire the best of the best, and we've got you covered, start to finish. Whether you're hiring for projects or everyday operations, we provide the talent, strategic solutions, and innovative technologies that keep your business ahead of the competition. This is your workforce, reimagined. This is CSI Companies.
Baker Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University.
Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School.
Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oak Leaf High School.
Tony Mazzio, Sandwood High School, class of 2002.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Shacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Cole Tilley, Hilliard High School.
Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
Back Tuesday, it means Talon Talk, University of North Florida Athletics. Here, Richard Miller filling in for Brent Martineau, who's on assignment. And we've got some tennis. Thanks again. We talked golf and men's basketball, and this is really more my wheelhouse. Head coach John Collins joining us, men's tennis head coach, and Catherine Dunnigan. Thank you, women's tennis head coach. It seemed, Catherine, a very busy fall. Has it always been like this? I know usually it's like 3 tournaments or so, but it feels like this past fall was a lot more than usual.
Yeah, we always host the UNF invite at the beginning of November, and this year Bedford Cup fell through at another school, and so we hosted it, which was great because we get all the Division I schools in the state. And then with the new pilot program of singles individuals in the fall, we hosted an ASUN individual tournament. That was thanks to John.
Okay.
He kind of had started that. So it definitely was really busy, but it was really nice to compete on our home courts.
Oh, for sure, because I know so often that we host over at the University of North Florida, the ASUN tournament and everything, and that's a big deal. John, you had a busy fall as well. What did you think from your players? I know Andreas Scott is really like the name that everybody knows right now.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, just to get a ton of matches, guys, and player development. And last year, it was my first year, and there's just so many obstacles you're trying to overcome in that first year. And the culture's in a really good spot right now. So it really felt like this fall was the first semester that we actually had to, kind of get into the nitty gritty, work, play a ton of matches, and get better. So this fall was huge step forward for us.
Yeah, you're going into your second season at the helm. Catherine, you've been here 7+ years at the University of North Florida. John, is that something where you maybe lean on Catherine some, ask her questions of, hey, what do I expect? There's a lot going on. What do I do?
Yeah, Catherine's been a phenomenal resource and been very blessed. Every women's coach that I've worked with has always been super helpful. So really thankful for that relationship. But just all the people in athletics administration, they've all been phenomenal and helping me get stuff done and answer questions. Very positive.
Hey, Catherine, you have 3 children now?
I do.
Are they into tennis?
They're kind of.
Yeah. What are their ages now?
13, 10 daughters, and then a 2-year-old son, almost 2-year-old son.
Okay.
Danny Witt I'll give him a shout out. He already gave Banks a racket whenever Banks was born. But my 10-year-old is actually quite good at it, but she only really comes during camp in the summers. She's really big into the team sports, soccer and volleyball.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah, two really good sports. So, John, I think you just have the one daughter. How old is she now?
We got two girls.
Two girls.
So Addie is 2.5 now. Sydney was born in May, so she's 6 months.
Oh, wow.
So we're in the weeds.
Okay, yeah. I'm surprised you're even awake right now, honestly.
Yeah.
Catherine, what did you see from your team? Because I was looking through some of the notes. I would see y'all play when I was over at soccer doing those games. I thought Bartlett had a very strong fall.
Well, Bartlett came back from injuries. She had surgery in May, but she didn't miss a beat and competed great in the fall invite. And she took FSU to three sets and did a great job there. Laurie is our number one player, and she had an outstanding fall. I think she must have beaten at least 5 girls higher UTR than her by almost a point. Had a national ranked player beat them in the Bedford Cup, who made a good run in the All-Americans and won a couple rounds at FSU and Miami at regionals. Got to go out to California and play against or at the ITA Conference Masters and represent the A-Sun. So she had an outstanding fall and is really excited. It's going to be our senior year. We have 4 seniors, so we're excited to have the depth, and we did a lot this fall to prepare for the spring.
Oh, that's exciting. Does it give you a better sense of what your lineup is, or is it still very much up in the air?
It definitely helps. I mean, you kind of get an idea of where your players are, but a lot of it depends on what they do over this break. The goal is to not lose our fitness and to make sure we're hitting and essentially playing matches over the break, because that's going to determine where we're at in the spring. So it gives us an idea, but sometimes any player can beat any player on any given day. So we'll see what it looks like in the spring.
Is it similar like that, John, for the men's game? And I feel like more and more technology has also enhanced it, altered it with, was it Play Insight? Is that the or one of Play Sight?
Play Sight's the video one. So I just watched a guy play Macedonia. So easy to be able to watch people play. PR, ITF, WTN. There's so many rankings that compare different countries and their level. So information has a little bit overwhelming, and then you're just trying to kind of read lines. But lineups aren't determined by UTR. You're supposed to play your lineup in order of ability, and that doesn't necessarily mean UTR. So it's on us as coaches to really gauge how guys are doing, practice, how they're doing in tournaments. You could have an unbelievable UTR, but then if you lose to the number 3 from another team, you probably don't want to put them at number 1. To gauge, keep a good pulse on things. But there's a lot of information.
Is it one thing, too, because I noticed with both teams that you have players outside of the United States where you're using Zoom or all this technology to talk to them maybe on a weekly basis? Any recruits?
I would say a daily basis. I'm talking to a recruit. My phone's pinging right now. I'm talking to recruits, so WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook Messenger, global sport, and it's amazing how quick the globe can become small. So always doing something. I would say it's a 24/7 deal.
Catherine, you made huge headlines just a few years back, that big tournament win over Ole Miss. How much has that shaped you as a coach of wanting to get back there, beating a team, and much like men's soccer, making a run and people go, wow, North Florida, that's a big time school.
Yeah. Well, we certainly had a lot more people wanting to play us that next year for sure. Some of the top programs wanted to come, some even coming to our home courts. We hosted Georgia and Florida the next year on our home courts, not Florida, LSU. But we definitely want to get back there. We know what it feels like. We know what it looks like. Issa's the only one that's probably tied to that. She's been here for her first year was in Brazil, but she was a part of the team technically. But COVID, she couldn't get her visa. But it's still a little tied to that and Ansley signing that year. So they definitely have big goals to get back there. I think we have a lot more maturity than last year. Last year we had 3 freshmen, and so we know what we're aiming for, and I think we're gonna go get a championship this spring.
Yeah, well, that was one of the things I noticed about your roster, a little bit more experience after last year, some first-year players. Share with me some of this schedule, because I was looking at it this morning over coffee. You open up with 3 straight matches at home, but more importantly, 6 of your first 7 are at home. I feel like that's a big deal for this year's team.
Yeah, so this year we do not have an ASUN regular season. They took that away for this year. So scheduling, we got to go outside and get a lot more teams. We're doing several matches where we play a team, and then they have a neutral site match, and then we play the other team. So some of it just depends. A lot of schools want to come down here when it's cold. They want to come to Florida, and then we travel, I think, in the February range, and then March is always a heavy home match month because of spring break. So we get a lot of schools that come down for spring break, and usually we're tied up at the end of March for conference matches, but we don't have those this year, so you have to find the teams that aren't busy in that late time frame, March and April. I know it's can be challenging, but a lot of programs or conferences did go away with the regular season, so we matched up a little bit with those schools.
Oh, interesting. I did not know that. John, you added a new assistant to your staff, somebody that you knew pretty well. You've got Javier Matos now as one of your assistants. He played for you, correct?
He did, yeah. So he played all 4 years for me at Presbyterian College, which is where I was before this. And then obviously last year was my first year here. He was the assistant coach at ETSU. Won 2 of his 4 years at PC with me. We won the conference, and then he won the regular season Southern Conference title at ETSU. So he's here now in his 2nd year of coaching and trying to get all sorts of collections of rings here.
Yeah, he's ready to win.
He's intense. I mean, I'm intense, and then I look over, and he's like crushing the guys over there, throwing medicine balls, telling them to keep the energy up. So it's good to have that.
Well, you kind of need that. I see that with men's soccer, where it's a nice balancing act between head coach and assistants.
Yeah, he's you're always curious to see how those relationships are going to go. He's been crushing it. Been able to connect with each guy, pushing them hard, and then I think the guys trust him too.
How good is Andreas Scott? I watched him a little bit last year. Accolades were through the roof. ASUN Player of the Year, ASUN Scholar Athlete of the Year. Incredible resume. Is he just going to get better and better?
That's the goal. I mean, you just look at his entire career here, and he's gotten better. First year was kind of in and out of the lineup. 2nd year played number 5, won several matches in a row. It suggested he was ready for that next step. And last year played number 1 for us, and not just handled that load, but turned into being the best player in the conference, went undefeated. So now the vision is how can we push forward? So being more competitive against, Florida, South Florida, all these major nationally ranked opponents, and get him to that next level.
Catherine, what's the main goal this year for the team in the spring?
We got to take one match at a time. We got a tough schedule. I mean, we open up with FAU. They were top 30 last year in the country. But it's all about growth. We talk about getting 1% better every day, and so we're going to take whatever we learn that day and try to just do it a little bit better the next day. So we try to stay focused on the process and let the results take care of itself. And if we can do that, then we will relieve a little bit of the pressure of the result. We all want to win. That's our goal. So that's what we're going to aim for, but we definitely have to focus on the process to get there and those small goals each day in order to train the right habits, train the mentality, get tougher in all areas. So,
well, that was something we talked about last week with men's golf coach Scott Schroeder, of how much, everybody's pretty equal when it comes to skill set physically, but that mental aspect, really is what puts you over the top? Or are you reading anything, watching any videos about mental strength and coaching?
I've read a lot of books. My degree is in psychology, so I love that. I nerd out on that. But we do work with our sports performance. Dr. Stapleton is phenomenal. She does team sessions with us, and then it opens up the door for individual sessions. So some of our teams will go, or some of our players will go and meet with her. But we go through a book together. We're going to go through a book together this spring, and some players do things individual, but we work on different things. Just depends on how the match goes and what I see we need to work on. If it's emotional control, if it's being more positive, it just depends. I think that's the joys of my job is I have to learn each individual. We're all so different, personality-wise, and how we process things, and what we each need to work on specifically to be more mentally tough. So,
is that big for you, John, in terms of emotional control for your players? Because I feel like the men's game, guys can snap pretty quickly.
Yeah, no, I think it's one of the biggest areas. You look at professional tennis right now, and there's a clear path that people can come to college and develop and get ready for that next level. It's not just mental or not just physical maturity, but also that mental maturity too. And you look at the energy and the camaraderie in college tennis, that requires a certain personality and certain mental toughness. Also, there's no lets. You hit a big serve and it hits the net. You got that's play. You got to be able to react and go get that. And then also the deuce points. Like, there's so much pressure all the time. You're not just playing for yourself. You're playing for your school. You're playing for the alumni base. You're playing for your teammates. It can be a lot on your shoulders. So just trying to help guys navigate through those mental battles and world of difference.
Yeah, what's a team's major top goal for the spring?
Want to be the best team in the ASUN, and we want to be in the top 50 in the country.
Oh, very cool. John, favorite Christmas movie? What have you watched lately?
My daughter is obsessed with The Grinch. There was one day I think we watched it 3 times.
Oh, no.
That's the only movie Banks will sit still for, is The Grinch.
Yep.
Is that your answer too, Catherine?
Oh, no, mine's Home Alone.
Home Alone,
Yeah.
yes. There we go. All right, we got 2 Home Alones. Catherine, John, thank you both so much. Best of luck, and I hope to talk to you again in the spring.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a break here on Talon Talk. Nick Morrow is ready to go. We'll talk more about North Florida athletics to close out the show. Talon Talk every Tuesday from 2 to 3 on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hi, I'm Joel Donovan. My brother Kyle and I, we are co-owners and operators here at Donovan Heat and Air Electric, and my dad started the business in 1987 to provide the greater Jacksonville area with a great customer service experience. 3 decades later, we're still doing the same thing. I love the Jacksonville area, I love the community, I love raising my family here. That's my name on the side of the building, and it's really important for our family to run this company the way it should be ran, and something to be proud of.
When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models, or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway, or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness, and most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick GMC. We are professional grade.
We're CSI companies. We partner with organizations nationwide to help employers like you find your dream team. You're looking to hire the best of the best, and we've got you covered, start to finish. Whether you're hiring for projects or everyday operations, we provide the talent, strategic solutions, and innovative technologies that keep your business ahead of the competition. This is your workforce reimagined. This is CSI Companies.
We've been telling you about the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network for over a year now. How to find it, what to see. Simply put, it's TV online. Local sports content all day, every day, just like this.
Did you always want to make history? Like, think that big, or just say, hey, I want to play in the NFL?
I always say I want to play in the NFL.
Cuts it back to her left side, takes a shot,
Oh,
and into the
my
back of the
goodness.
net.
Oh, what a pass.
Oh my goodness!
What a pass.
And they have been. We've been talking, we've been articulating.
I did have a sense that they wanted to be bold, that they wanted to make a splash.
It's content you won't find on TV. Find it on actionsportsjax.com and just sit back and watch local sports all day on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
The man in charge, Nick Morrow, joining us here on Talon Talk on this Tuesday in December, giving that first basketball, the victory for Bobby Kennen. How exciting is that for you, Nick, to have a moment like that?
Yeah, it was really neat, and especially after that game and going up and giving him a big hug after he got that first victory. And even at Florida, it was pretty cool to be down there and watch him on the sidelines for his first official game on the sidelines, the one that counted and stuff. So just really happy for Bobby. I mean, he's worked so hard for that moment, and he's done everything really, really well since taking over that program. Like, he's working hard and doing all the right things from the recruiting standpoint, operationally, administratively, working the guys hard. And so I know not all the wins have come quite yet, but I'm confident we get into conference play, like, we'll be ready.
Is that one of those things? I know busy with the overlap and everything, soccer, all these sports going on at one time. Are you able to travel with men's basketball?
I did a little bit. I went to the Florida game. I went up to Tennessee, went to Wofford. And so I've done a little bit. I haven't of these recent trips, and there's just so much going on. You're right. Back at campus and at home and all those. So I kind of pick and choose when I do travel. And I haven't really looked too much in conference play what I'll try and do. But, yeah, any chance I get, I like watching the guys compete live, or any of our teams for that matter. That's one of the best parts. It's kind of like we sit there and we grind in the office and the phone calls and the meetings and all that stuff. Well, like, it's great to go to a practice. It's really great to go to a game and watch them compete. To remind you why you do this. It's that break, and then, okay, yeah, let's get back to work. This is why we do it. These student athletes are working so hard. Let's make sure we get them the resources so they can succeed and reach their academic and athletic goals.
It was so thrilling. My son and I watched it. Men's soccer make the NCAA tournament, comes down to PKs. Are you just heartbroken when that comes about? In my head, I'm going, okay, this is still a win, trying to, justify it, but still, it just stings. It hurts.
It does. And, yeah, I went with the team up there, or I traveled separately, but I met the team up there in Chapel Hill. And, when we got there on game day, and I rode the bus with them, and we got off, and, like, North Carolina's got national championship banners all over the place in that venue. Like, that's their soccer and lacrosse, and they've won a few over the years. And so really cool stadium that's specific for soccer and lacrosse, and just a notoriety of UNC. And then our guys roll out, and they don't care. Like, they're ready to roll, like, and they know they can go in and beat them. And going up 1-0 on them and scoring 4 goals and getting 2 of them called back. And so the emotions, I was sad at the end, but I was angry throughout. I was excited throughout. I wanted to, body slam the refs. We got 2 goals called back, and 2 of them, they could have gone either way. And I'm having people text me from back home. I can't believe they called that goal back. Like, this is crazy. And then to have that moment where Luke scores that last-minute goal, last second goal. College soccer is like that only league in all of soccer that literally counts down and has a definitive stop time, as opposed to the referee having control and doing extra time and all that. And so you're hearing the PA going 10, 9, 8, and then Luke with the banger off the bottom of the crossbar with 1 second. Of course, they had to review that one too. They reviewed 3 out of our 4 goals, but not the one that they easily could have pulled back because it wasn't. But, yeah, again, I literally get worked up thinking about some of those calls and how that played out. But it just goes to show you that we can compete. We can compete at that level. we're right on the doorstep of moving on in the NCAA tournament, not just making it. And that's a nice natural goal for men's soccer is actually not just get to the tournament. Let's win one. Let's go make a run. Right now, I'll continue to watch the college soccer tournament, and the College Cup has a 15 seed, a 16 seed, and 2 unseeded teams in the Final Four. Why can't that be us?
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly, realistically think we could do that.
And additionally, too, I thought women's soccer finished the season so strong, made the ASUN final, went up against a very strong Lipscomb squad, but the way they turned it on late was quite impressive.
Yeah, no, that was really neat for them to make that championship game, and again, made that trip up to Nashville to witness that potential first ever championship. And they ran into a really good Lipscomb squad who went on and beat Mississippi State in the tournament, and then only lost to 1-0 to Florida State, who, by the way, just won the national championship last night. So that was a really good squad, and we were right there, again, knocking on the doorstep for them. Like, now they made the final. They've gotten the taste of that. Now can we make the next step? Because softball did that. Soccer did that back in the day. They went to a couple finals before they finally got that first championship in 2015. Softball went to like 3 out of a 4-year period or something like that before finally getting that championship. So now they got a little taste of it. And now, okay, how do we give them the resources to go and get over that hump and win a conference championship and go to their first NCAA tournament? Also held that Lipscomb beat Mississippi State. Florida hired Mississippi State's coach. Mississippi State went and got Lipscomb's head coach after they beat them. So,
wow. Musical chairs.
Yeah, no doubt.
What about baseball? We haven't talked to you since the Phase 1 progress began last week.
Yeah, so the ground's all ripped up. If you drive by Harmon Stadium right now, it's crazy. There's big ditches and holes, and there's piles of gravel and dirt and all sorts of stuff. But we're rocking and rolling right now, getting the drainage in, and before we start putting the gravel and the rock down, and eventually the turf. But we're moving. It's exciting to see that project is actually happening, and there's a lot of excitement amongst the alumni right now in the baseball community, and it's going to be really cool on that opening day on February 13th when we sit in the stands and you look out and you're going to see all the new upgrades, because it's more than just the field. It's the new seating areas. It's the outfield wall itself is just going to really set off that place. It's going to be unique, padded. It'll be a really cool look, and so really happy with getting that going, and then we'll hop into the next project shortly after that.
And well-deserved for baseball, too, because we talked to Joe Mercadante about 2 weeks ago. Top 50 recruiting class for him. That's got to be one of the best classes ever for any UNF sport.
Yeah. And it's pretty cool when we got recruiting rankings that are coming out, and UNF is in the mix with some of the big boys. And just like softball had the top 10 transfer portal recruiting class. That's great. That's great. That's great impressions, great exposure that then leads into better recruiting, because now these other recruits that are paying attention to that stuff see that. And so, if we can give them the resources with the recruits coming in, I think baseball is going to take some really big strides over the next couple of years. It made a nice stride from year 1 to year 2. We're going to take another jump this year, and then I think this thing really starts taking off for baseball as well.
I cannot wait. One of our guests last week, we had Smilla Colby on. She's one of those athletes, to me, you just say one name or first name, last name, and she's like Oprah almost.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a fun Colby story of her time at North Florida?
Smilla's the best. She's that will be her. Yeah, you say Oprah, you're going to say Smilla, and everyone's going to know it right away. She's been one of my favorite student athletes to come through and have been so successful, so humble, and she was one of the first student athletes to reach out when my extension came out.
Wow.
Just super sweet, and loved watching her at the World Championships on worldwide TV, and how cool and collected she looked there. And then watching her at the ASUN Cross Country Championships, and she lines up for us in the Cross Country Championships after competing in the World Championships a couple months prior, and she looked more nervous on the cross country line than she did at the World Championships. And just such a cool person, and so happy for her and her success. And she'll be leaving us here in probably about another week. She'll be moving and back to Europe and starting her pro career, and can't wait to follow what her career does now.
Oh yeah, big time. Another student athlete that falls in that same breath is Dallas Moore. That earlier today, announced that he's going to be in the class of the ASUN Hall of Fame to be inducted in May. How exciting is that? Because you remember Dallas as well as anybody else, and huge accolades for a UNF person.
Yeah, and that's what's cool about being here for 15 years at UNF and seeing these student athletes grow up, start families, continue their career, come back, get inducted into the Hall of Fame, and it just tremendous athlete, obviously. All-time point scorer in the state of Florida amongst all college players, and he absolutely deserves this. And really excited for him to get in. Hopefully he'll be able to make it. Well, actually, hopefully not, because hopefully he'll be playing overseas and can't make it back for the Hall of Fame. But potentially he's there, and would love to, be there for him and as he gets inducted. We still go back and forth on text and an occasional phone call. See him, usually in the summer when he's back from playing and stuff. And just really happy with him and how he continues to support the program. And all those guys do that. Same thing with Bo. Bebe's at every game. That whole crew are very engaged with what's going on with UNF basketball. And I love that.
And a huge get, too. You told me before we hopped on, he's the first North Florida student athlete to get into the ASUN Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's a great representative for us, right?
Yeah.
If we're going to get our first one in and be in Dallas Moore, one of our most successful and most impactful student athletes to ever come through.
I know we have our induction for UNF third week in January.
That's correct.
Did you start making calls recently?
I haven't. That's on my list for this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not to be your secretary or anything.
Yes, I do need to jump on that though. It's I've been on the phone a lot this past week, but I do need to make those calls. We have the Hall of Fame selection committee has made their decision, and so now one of the best parts of the job is making the phone call and letting them know they got into the Hall of Fame. So that'll be coming over the next couple of days. It'll be a tremendous opportunity for me to do that.
I can't wait. I'll MC that event. I'll MC as well the ASUN Hall of Fame. So very exciting. What is in the future? What's to come for you in the next few weeks? You get a little break with Christmas?
Yeah. We announced Christmas resignation last week from volleyball. So obviously knee deep in a coaching search. We take that extremely seriously anytime we're going through a coaching search. It's, to me, one of the most important things administration, the AD, does. You're hiring this leader of these student athletes that are going to create that transformational experience. They're going to create the opportunities to go after championships and going after degrees, and they work with them every single day. So they have more influence over that team culture than anybody else. And so we take that responsibility very seriously when we need to make a head coach hire. And so working really hard on that front. And so theoretically, campus shuts down. Next Friday is the last day it's open and it's shut down for 2 weeks. But in athletics, we continue to work through it. We're hosting Columbia and men's basketball during that break, and we'll continue to do things. I'll continue to work through that hiring process. But there'll be a little downtime too. It's extremely important to get that balance in life. It might not look like a 50-50 balance, but at least get that balance. Spend some time with the family in the holidays, kind of regroup, because we're going to have a big spring, a really exciting spring. I think all of our spring sports are poised to make a run at it. We're hosting the ASUN softball conference championships, as well as the track and field championships again this year. A lot coming to UNF this spring.
My goodness, so busy. Well, good luck with all of that. Great to see you, and I know we'll get you back on soon.
You know it. Thanks, Richard. Appreciate it.
All right, there he goes, Nick Morrow. Thanks again to all our guests. We had Adam, we had John, Catherine to open up the show, Bobby. Good luck to men's basketball. It'll be a tough stretch for them. And a week from today, women's basketball will be at the UNF Arena facing Coastal Georgia. Brett Martineau returns for the next show. I'm Richard Miller. I'll be his co-anchor as well. Check out Talon Talk every Tuesday on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.